Hi, Rashmi. Good evening. Am I audible?
Oh, yes. Good evening. You are audible.
Could you please open your camera?
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, you can. Can you give me a quick introduction?
Okay. So, my name is Rashmi Pawar. I have completed Master of Computer Science and Computer Application. Then I worked as an academician for around 9 to 10 years. And then I moved to IT industry, wherein I'm working for last 3 years. My
Mm.
skill set includes Python, SQL databases, standard machine learning algorithms, LLM models. Uh, that's it. I have worked on the projects which include these kind of tech stack. I reside in Pune, and my education also completed in Pune itself.
I can see your CV. There is a Python and backend. Right. So there is AWS as well. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's start with very basic things. What is event-driven architecture?
Sorry, can you just explain event-driven architecture in case of?
Um, what is the concept of event-driven architecture? In case of suppose there is, related to Python, I'm asking you.
Okay, so event-driven architecture is nothing but you have some backend services written which responds to your front-end data that comes to your application, which responds to that data.
So why Python? For automation, and also for backend systems. Why we use it like Python for automation?
Yeah, so there are many features, but I think the very important feature is like Python has a rich set of libraries that we can see, and specifically automation, yes, but for like if we want to develop any data science kind of projects, Python would be like easy and rich library set compared to other programming languages, and again easy to learn, easy to implement.
Okay. Okay. So have you worked on multi-threading,
Not so much like.
multi-processing?
See, in Python, I have actually used the core Python concepts uh, and like SQL integration.
Okay. Uh, do you know about the basic difference between multi-processing and multi-threading?
Uh, yeah, so multiprocessing is actually your application is taking care of multiple processes or multiple small applications at a time, wherein multi-threading could be a same process is actually bifurcated into small chunks or small tasks, which simultaneously or parallelly can be executed.
Hmm. The thing is, how you will handle the errors in Python production systems? Have you worked on it?
Uh, So, like for from coding point of view, like we can put the very basic thing that we handle is that we can put our code in the try except block, and we
Mm-hmm.
can have logs maintained. Like
Okay.
in case of whatever like coding that I have done, like maybe if we have written some Python AWS Lambda, so we have uh, we have stored those logs, and you can monitor those logs on the CloudWatch just to see if any errors are coming, and then we can resolve it.
So, in the same context, have you heard about the date later queues?
Sorry, date later.
Yeah, queues. In the same
No.
context which I've asked you. Okay, fine. So you have mentioned AWS and cloud as well, right? So could you please explain Lambda plus S3 plus API gateway flow?
Okay. So, Lambda is nothing but see when you have to have an application like serverless application, you can punch you can just have your code written into some Lambda function, and that Lambda function can be integrated with the API gateway. That API gateway can be, I mean, that API URL could be called by some other application, and then your backend code, which is clubbed in the Lambda function, will be called as and when the APIs are hit. So, like instead of putting
Okay.
your code maybe on some on-prem server, you can have your backend code written into online cloud in the form of Lambda function, and through API gateway, you can connect with that code.
So where we store the data in that
You
to
can
give the
make use of
response?
yeah, you can make use of like buckets, S3 buckets for storing. But I mainly actually work for the backend Lambda function and API gateway setup, like in the project that I was working.
Okay. Um, what is the use I just want to ask like why we use like AWS Lambda?
Uh, See, I mean, basically, why we use Lambda is like if you don't want to have our application on a particular on-prem server, then we go with the cloud as such. And then AWS Lambda also give you, like as I said, that it will give you a cloud watch to keep and monitor your logs, keep or track your application for any errors. At the same time, you can have like identity management system wherein you can store your credentials on the cloud itself securely, and then you can use those into your application. At the same time, you can make use of maybe AES encryption techniques to have your request and response encrypted, which come out and flow out of your application.
Yeah. Is there any concept of auto scaling in it?
Auto scaling.
Yeah, in AWS Lambda.
Mm.
Okay. So, I mean, how does Lambda scale?
Uh, mm, I mean, uh,
You might know it.
mhm.
Like suppose there is a request. I'm just giving you a hint. So every per request, how many instances are there? If it is about Lambda scale, I mean, how does that Lambda scale?
So maybe I don't know if I'm wrong in this context, but like you can have batch requesting, or you can have a load processor placed so that it could handle multiple requests at a time.
Mm, okay. There is a one instance per request actually. This is how the Lambda scale. So fine, no issues. If it is about to connect the Lambda to Postgres SQL securely, then how did you connect that? You get my question.
Uh, yeah, yeah. So you can have your database credentials stored into identity management of AWS, and then you can securely connect. I mean, as far as connection is concerned.
Okay, have you heard about the VPC configuration?
Oh, yes, I have heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me. Tell me.
If it is like if your database is in the same VPC, then only your application. is able to connect to the database, otherwise not.
Okay. Mm. Can you share your screen? Am I audible?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get you.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yeah. You should close all the other applications, right? But if you are
Yeah,
entering, attempting an interview, and just
yes.
open any notepad. So, have you worked on the security or any encryption part?
No, actually.
Okay. AES encryption, anything like that? Have you heard about it?
Yeah, actually, like I have heard about AES encryption.
Yeah, tell me.
So you're
Let
basically, yeah, so in that case, like you actually encrypt the request and response of that particular Lambda by using a particular key,
me.
and that key
Okay.
has to be, uh, sorry.
So there is, you have mentioned AI, ML, LLM as well in your CV, right? So,
Hmm.
could you please explain? You must know like why, I mean, XG boost for fraud detection.
Oh, yeah. So XGBoost is basically a standard machine learning algorithm which worked on a label kind of data, and it will actually predict for a particular target class whether that particular, let's say, claim is fraudulent or not.
Okay. And what is overfitting? And if it is about, I mean, so how did you prevent it?
Yeah, so basically overfitting is that when we train our model, which is if that model is get trained so much so that the data into it start working as a noise, and it actually try to predict only the larger class of target present in that. So that could be an overfitting. So we can say that the model is learn overly. So what we can do is that if your data set is imbalanced, then we can actually undersample the larger class, or we can oversample the minor class in that data set. And we'll try to make that data set balanced one so as to reduce the overfitting concept.
What is LLM?
It's a large language model,
Mm-hmm.
and large language models basically used to perform the natural language task, the very basic and like commonly used tasks could be like text summarization, text extraction kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. Does it predict next token? LLM?
Yes, it predict the next token based on the previous tokens that it has uh, actually it has what we can say process. So I mean, in case of transformer, there is a concept of attention, which actually takes care of each attention, each token present in that particular sentence, or the text that has come to that particular model, the based on the context of that particular token with respect to the other context and similarity, it try to predict the next possible token that is relevant to the context of that sentence or data that has been given.
What is LoRa fine tuning?
So LoRa fine tuning is actually low ranking kind of fine tuning. It is also called as PEFT, parameter efficient fine tuning. So instead of fine tuning the entire pre-trained model, any LLM pre-trained model that you are using, what LoRa will do is it will have some low rank uh, parameters identify from the entire set of parameter, and it will only train those important parameters, and then it will assign the weights of those trained parameters into your base model, whichever base model that you are using. So instead of complete fine tuning, LoRa is actually reducing the efforts as well as the cost of fine tuning.
Yeah, so it is faster and cheaper as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if it is about the structured versus unstructured data, what you will see in the
Uh,
context of
for
XGBoost and LLM.
Yeah, so mainly like whatever like traditional machine learning algorithms that we are using mainly worked on the structure kind of data. When I say structure kind of data, the kind of like data that we get maybe in the form of CSV or a tabular data, wherein some features has been given and a target variable is given to predict. And in case of unstructured data, it could be a simple paragraph written in a natural language, and then you have to understand the sentiment, tone, uh, and uh, and the context that is retrieving from that particular sentence. So actually, the usage of any LLM or a traditional machine learning algorithm could be based on the kind of
Mhm.
input that we are processing.
Okay, right. Um, what is RAG? RAG pipeline, I mean, in that
So
case.
RAG stands for retrieval augmented generation. So basically, a RAG will help us to ground the truth of any LLM, or it will help
Mhm.
any LLM not to hallucinate and give an answer which is grounded to a domain specific task. For an example,
So that,
that any
Mhm.
sorry, you were saying.
May you continue?
Yeah. So, for example, we know that any LLM or large language model, maybe open source Llama models or Gemini models, those comes with some abundant pre-trained model. But sometimes we have to perform a task which is very domain specific. Let's say a finance project or a healthcare project. In that case, we actually have to bound our data to whatever historical data which is present in our application. So in that case, we want the LLM not to hallucinate or assume some things and give us the output. In that case, what RAG pipeline will do, that it will retrieve the context or the data from, let's say you have stored the data in a basic database for a simple case, then it will retrieve that data based on your input from the database. It will create a context out of it, and it will give that context to the LLM, and then based on the context and obviously the prompt that you have given, your LLM will now give you final answer. But again, it will be grounded based on your domain specific data, which was present in your own database. So RAG will help here in that sense.
Why not rely on only on LLM? I mean,
Uh, the major problem that we are facing with LLMs is actually hallucination. And even if like how strong prompts we design, we actually come across with this problem of hallucination that LLMs sometimes assume some data on its own. And
mm,
specifically in general example, that could be okay. Like if I have to summarize a PDF, or if I have to rephrase my paragraph or beautify my paragraph, in that case, LLM could assume few things and give me the data, that is okay. But if I want some domain specific output, or domain specific process to be carried out, let's say healthcare, then we never want LLM to give something of its own. Maybe in that
Mhm.
case, RAG has to be there.
Yeah, fine. So, okay, perfect. And have you heard about the ChromaDB?
Yes, ChromaDB is a vector database. Vector databases, uh, how it differs from our regular, let's say, matlab structured, non-structured databases is that it stores the data in the form of embeddings into it. What are embeddings basically is a normal text get converted into some numerical format, and that numerical format or a number is actually a particular number in a multi-dimensional plane, and those embeddings stored in any vector database will help us to find out the similarity search or similarity index of a particular token.
Okay. As you
Uh,
have mentioned the Streamlit and dashboards as well. So
mhm.
why it is, I mean, what is the purpose of Streamlit?
Actually, Streamlit is very lightweight kind of a front end that we can create using a basic Python coding. Like someone if he, I mean, like someone like me who is having a back end kind of knowledge, and if not good at any front end technology, let's say React or like any other technology, then in that case, Streamlit is a code written in like pure Python code. So it is a lightweight UI creation code, we can say, which could be easily used in any Python application.
So if it is about the dashboards, like how did the dashboards help? Like if it is a risk teams.
Uh, Basically, dashboard will give you what we can say, it will give you the data presented in a graphical format, and a dynamic data could be what we can say represented and keep on changing in real time. It will be easier maybe for higher management to view the dashboards and get the latest updates from it.
It is about you also mentioned that there is identity and enterprises system, right? So right.
Huh.
So
It's
what is identity management?
So actually, I mean, it was it was a part of HRMS project. It was a core
Right.
Python backend utility. In that case, identity management system was one of the we can say module wherein uh, we you actually see when a particular user get onboarded, you create some login credential for it. You store those details into Azure AD, and then it was a centralized application wherein that the user getting access based on his like onboarding process to all certain applications at one time. So it was not like the user has to go and request for multiple applications. Identity management was a central portal wherein users were getting the access for multiple applications in that organization.
You mean like there is kind of secure onboarding?
Yes, secure onboarding.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Just a moment. So we heard about the Python decorators. If it is about the
Yes.
production, yeah. Tell me.
So decorators are actually a function in which we can wrap our own function and which could be reused a multiple number of times. I mean, the basic definition of decorator could be something like this.
And why? Where we use it, like in case of any logging or
Uh,
something like that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like if we consider the API routes, in that case, when we write a function just below that API route, that could be the example of a decorator. Or basically, we can reuse that function at multiple places. I know, like I'm not completely correct in this case, but
So if it is about to manage the configuration in Python application, how you'll manage it?
uh, configuration in Python application. So basically, for any Python project, we do maintain a .env file wherein we write all configuration details and we import those from there.
So have you heard about GIL and why it matters? I mean, I just wanted to know.
I heard, but sorry, don't have much information.
I have asked you to share the notepad, right? So you can just write down those points which
Yeah, yeah.
you're not
Yes, yes.
totally blank about them, right? So
Yes,
just
yes.
like GIL.
Mhm. Sure.
If it is about the async versus threading or also versus multiprocessing, how you'll explain it?
Sorry,
Async threading
multi-thread.
and multiprocessing, not multi-threading.
Uh,
Multiprocessing you already answered, right? So let me repeat that.
yes. Yeah, so we said that multiprocessing is that the multiple sub processes could be getting executed parallelly. Like if when I click on the login form, maybe at the same time, my backend system is retrieving my credentials and validating it. But then again, it should not be the sequential flow actually. Maybe on a particular website at the same time, like multiple tabs or multiple clicks are getting parallelly handled.
So if it is about AWS or if any distributed systems, okay. So
Mhm.
how you, I mean, how you make that lambda idempotent?
Yeah, so yes, so in case of a distributed system, the same application could be hosted on multiple, let's say in case of ML models, to have the distributed ML models, we keep the process or we keep the model running on the multiple GPUs. So yes, that could be the example of multiprocessing. The same application is handling the request from multiple sources.
Oh, no, I'm asking you, how do you make lambda idempotent? Getting my point?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let's move to the next question. You can note it down that
Mhm.
I've already told you. So if it is about multiprocessing, trading, async, or GIL, now it is lambda idempotent. Those points just make it note it down. So what is API gateways?
API gateway, API gateway will act as a point wherein you could connect your backend Lambda with the user request that comes in. So you bind your Lambda function to the API gateway, then you will get a particular domain specific URL and the requests that are coming to through that API gateway.
Okay. Is it something like about serverless APIs?
Yes, so serverless API is, uh,
API gateway, I
I
mean.
mean, yeah. So I mean, basically uh, Lambda feature is actually having a serverless application hosting.
Let's get into the real world scenario. Suppose if it is about the security. So, what is AES and RSA?
Uh, AES, as I told, like AES is a way of encrypting your request and response that are coming to your API gateway, just to make your data in the encrypted format. It should not be visible and hacked by any other unauthorized user. And RSA is again a technique of encrypting the data.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, but what I mean, AES is symmetric or asymmetric?
Mhm.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
So
no,
we were saying AES is
mhm. Is it symmetric or asymmetric? That just I wanted to know.
I guess AES
Close your
is
WhatsApp
symmetric
chats.
wherein the same key. AES is symmetric wherein the same key is used for encryption and decryption.
Hmm? Yeah.
I'm not sure about RSA at this point, actually.
See, you have answered like AES is almost fast, so it must be symmetric, right?
Yes,
And there is a key exchange in case of RSA, so it must be asymmetric.
asymmetric.
So that's the basic thing. Shortly, you have to explain. So if it is about the key rotation, then how it is handled?
Uh,
Okay.
Key rotation.
Okay. So next question. You have mentioned ML or fraud systems, you can say. So um, what are those? I mean, what are the features which are important in case of a fraud detection?
So there are many features to name a few. It could be age, then the total claims made in a particular duration, total premium lapses in a particular duration. Then there were some features related to the health aspect of a particular user. So yes, so age and lapses and premium total claims made in a particular duration was like few important that we have considered.
In general points related, I mean.
Okay, so I have to list all the in general features that we use.
What I'm asking, fraud detection. So if it is about the location, if it is about the transaction related, then what is that exactly?
So basically, like the type of claim that the person is making, and then related to all other aspects. Like if it is a vehicle theft, then maybe from which location it has been like the incident has happened. If it is a natural calamities, then maybe the season, what exact disaster has happened. All those aspects could be considered.
So have you heard about the precision or recall? And just like tell me, like which is actually more important for fraud? I mean, is precision or recall?
Yes, it will be dependent on what the problem statement in and what is of more concern, like false positive or false negative. Maybe then a recall could be of more concern, wherein we just cannot have more uh,
Yeah.
false negative predictions in the production. And we should minimize the
Okay.
false negative predictions.
Mhm. Uh, I've already asked you RAG, right? So could you please tell me why, I mean, RAG, like if it is about over fine fit tuning, I mean, why RAG over fine tuning?
Yes, so basically, what fine tuning is, we actually train the entire some pre-trained LLM model with our domain specific data. And in case of, let's say, RAG, we are not fine tuning the data. So basically, the efforts and cost is less in case of RAG. We are just making use of a domain specific data which is already present with our system. So we have to understand this aspect also, wherein efforts and cost could be reduced, and if it is okay to reduce it for any domain specific data. If not, if you want the model to be fine tuned with your own data, uh, and then you don't have to make those retrievals, or you don't have to link your backend system databases or knowledge source for that matter with your LLM application, then it's okay if you only fine tune the model, then don't have a rack pipeline in between. But most of the for most of the application, I think rack could be the most suitable way.
Why I asked you? Why RAG over fine tuning? That's what I've asked you. Shortly, I mean,
uh,
I expect.
uh, yeah, so basically for fine tuning you have to train the model with your own data. Okay, in that case, it will take, see, for a knowledge base which is having a huge amount of data, obviously it is going to take large amount of time to fine tune the LLM model. So your efforts and cost is associated with that. That is one major concern. And the same, if same could be achieved with the help of RAG, in actually with a grounded knowledge, because as I
Is
explained
there
that so,
sorry to interrupt. Is there any part of hallucination in the
in
same
case of
context?
in case of fine tuning, still we can assume that there is a possibility of hallucination. But in case of RAG, there is a very less or negligible, we can say, hallucination could be happen because
That
you,
that's what I'm expecting. Like there is a less risk of hallucination. That's
yes,
why
yes. So,
RAG over fine tuning.
yes, yes,
Getting
yes,
okay.
yes, yes.
So fine. Um, Last question. Are you aware about the circuit breaker pattern?
No,
It
actually.
is no issues. So any just tell me your previous uh, I mean experience and whatever you have worked shortly, very shortly. I mean technically what you have performed.
I
Actually
mean, my both experiences, I mean, other
project.
than industry.
Yeah, in corporate. I mean.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay. So, mainly I worked on Python-based utilities, which backed up with the PostgreSQL databases. I also worked on one of the Python utility wherein we handle the Microsoft SharePoints. We have written Power Automate flows for this and a Power App as an front end. So I was mainly
Mm,
concerned about the backend part, Power Automate flows for automating the tasks such as sending the emails, generating the reports and all, and handling the SharePoint backend data. Then for ML and LLMs, mainly I worked on a few projects and a few POCs. Like to list down, it was like one fraud detection. Then one was like a simple chat bot, which was designed for a particular city to answer about that particular city, a general knowledge kind of chat bot. The next was a document AI, this thing that once you upload a document in the particular system, it will summarize that document. At the same time, you can interact with that document in the form of chatbot. Again, this was RBAC based application. Role based access control was also implemented so that only a person having that particular access level can access that department's chatbot. He can only access that particular document and that particular section of that document. So like document category level, document level, and section level also RBAC was implemented in that. The next project could be there was one application wherein user will ask a NLP query, natural language query, and yeah, the application will fetch it. The application will create an SQL for that, and it will retrieve the data from your backend database. So basically, this application is useful for developers also and for end users also. Like if developer want SQL query to be written for that particular mm, context, he will get the correct SQL query written for it. Then he can use that SQL query in his application if he want. Or at the same time, if end user who is not interested in the SQL query, he just want the backend data, what is present. The LLM was giving a paragraph based on whatever data has been retrieved from that. So like these
mm,
are
right.
few use cases I have handled.
No issues. So almost I'm done with my questions, Rashmi. Do I have any
Okay.
questions from your end?
Yes, yes, actually. So like if you give me a feedback and what I'm lagging,
Yeah, yeah,
so that it will help
yeah,
me to
sure.
improve.
Okay, fine, sure. So as I can see your CV, there is a gap, right? But still, you carried that communication skill was good. Technically, you're good, but like you can shorten your answers, right? Like suppose any question, like you can touch that points so that if it is
Mhm.
even the hint interviewer can catch
That
and
hallucination
yes,
point, I
that's
mean, that hallucination.
any questions like overall I'm talking about. So you can just do the you have to just touch that important point, right? So instead of being descriptive, you can be objective or bit short in while answering. if it is required, why it is, because uh, interviewer will ask you the question based on the previous question, correct? So
Right.
if you go very lengthy in your answer, then that interest and that flow somehow it gets disturbed. So that is the point here only, and it impacts somehow. And second thing, good communication skill and confidence was also good, but again, there are few concepts on which you need to work on. So you can little bit work more, practice. Otherwise, whatever you have worked, you are good at it. But it's not that they'll ask you only those questions. So try to learn more concepts and get excel in detail. I mean, uh, in all, it's not like if it is about the object-oriented programming, then you just need to know the um, encapsulation inheritance. That is not the thing. You will get asked the code, you'll get asked the practical scenario, I mean real life scenario. So on that basis also you need to be ready to answer, and that's it. Very highlighting is that make your answers short, and
Sure.
yeah, because you touch the main answer, you're not wrong uh, in few questions, but still you can
Mm,
shorten them so that it will create different impact. So that's it.
mm, mm. Yeah,
That's it from my end,
I'll
Rashmi.
keep in mind. Okay. And I mean, just one point, like, see, like I don't have much experience because after my academic shift, I shift here. So I have only three
Hmm.
years of experience, and that too, I understand that I have not worked on like very good projects, or I didn't get opportunity in the organization. Uh,
Doesn't matter.
so I know somewhere I'm lagging to confidently
No.
say that because maybe the
See,
theoretical concept I know, but I didn't implemented that somewhere. So
being very honest, it really doesn't matter. Okay. So if anything matters, then your confidence. You just have to showcase, you just have to presence that confidence. You know the concept, I know in detail, and it should reflect like I have already worked on it.
mhm,
Because in corporate, in IT sector, no one knows everything.
everything. Mm,
Even the CEO don't know everything, right? So you just need to be confident whatever you are answering, or whatever the technical stack you have mentioned in your CV. You need to
mhm,
be very confident, and you are actually, but don't keep that in mind I'm lacking, or I don't know this concept. I can I perform perfectly or at that level. No, no, no. Don't keep those I mean questions or
mhm,
doubts in mind. That will be problematic for you. So
mm,
it will, automatically it reflects in confidence,
yeah.
right?
Yes. Mm,
Yeah. So you just keep these things in your mind. There is, see, 2 years of experience candidate can match the knowledge of 10 years of experience candidate as well. So it's all about the confidence, willing, and just it confidence, and of course your practice, consistency,
mm,
your daily practice, knowledge, theoretical knowledge also matters a lot. And okay, let's take one example of any technical skill set. Suppose a Docker. I don't know Docker, I haven't worked it yet, but I know it about yes, it is like that. And
mm,
there is only image sharing in it,
mm,
and my seniors have worked like this. I just have
mm,
heard about it. You
mm,
should answer in a such a appropriate way, very confidently. They will get convinced that yeah, she has worked on Docker.
mm,
Need to give her that chance. So if it is such a scenario, she'll work on it. So it's
Mm.
not like that when you'll get such a scenario and you will not capable to do it. There is also like, see again, no one knows everything. So you can learn those things and you can perform well, right?
Right.
Getting my point, what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that's it. Just try to look confident,
Yeah.
and practice on few things. Otherwise, whatever you answered properly, but make it shorter. That's it.
Yes. Yes. Sure. Definitely. Yeah. Means a lot.
Okay?
Yeah. It will surely helpful.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so
We
much.
can
Thank
speak.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.